right, guys, welcome to another show of the Sambaza Podcast Live. This is our YouTube show, and we're having the regular podcast, but this time we have the co-host. Now, we just met today, and CECE it is, right?
Yes.
You're about to start a podcast, and the thing about you is you bring a different dimension to what we're talking about, because you have the African, you're literally African American. Just introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm bad at this. I'm CeCe. I'm CeCe. I am a... You sure you want me to have this on? I'm loud. Alright, I'm CeCe. I am a frequent participator.
She's definitely a co-host. She's a co-host. That's like
I'm
official.
a co-host.
Yes.
Oh, I'm officially a co-host now?
You've been officially the co-host.
I thought I was just there for commentary. Honestly, I really did.
No, you're a co-host.
I thought co-hosts did more work.
I mean, sometimes you ask questions. Technically, yes, but but you just come in and
talk.
The vibe is there.
Talking.
So maybe after this, you put more responsibility on it.
Please don't. Please don't.
Okay.
That's who I am. I'm sorry.
So you were in a podcast with Africans and who have different opinions and have different perspectives. What has that brought to yourself as a person and as a podcaster?
That's interesting. I think it's always good to get the perspectives of people who I consider more of my family, because I'm not close to my Nigerian side of the family in the sense that we sit down and we have these type of conversations. So for me, it's a way of having a safe space to ask questions that somebody may feel like, oh, you should know this already. Or I hate when people say like, oh, your dad didn't teach you that, or oh, your dad didn't do this, or oh, your dad didn't do that. And so what it did for me as a person, it made me feel safer to ask the questions that in my normal day-to-day life I wouldn't be able to ask, because I kind of get chastised for it.
Okay. And so far, what has it been challenging right now to the point that you are starting your podcast? What has been the beginning part? Because now you're really starting a podcast on your own.
Starting one.
What's the challenging bit, and what can you tell podcasters who are trying to start?
Finding time for me right now, because I work full time. I have a 5-year-old. Funds are extremely low, and I can't keep my house clean. But there are creative things that I really, at this point, I feel like I need to do, like I must do to fulfill me. And so it's trying to get that started without accidentally blowing a whole lot of money. It's trying to find the right timing of building connections and networking without people thinking that I'm gonna waste their time. It's like, I don't trust the internet at all. I'm really good at social media by proxy, but if I want to make a connection with somebody through social media, I'm a face-to-face person, so I don't know if you're a real person. I don't know if you're trying to scam me. I don't know. Like, you say you get sponsorships or people call you, like, I would get so nervous because I wouldn't even know if you're legitimate. There's just so much stuff going on out here. So those are the things for me that have been extremely difficult, is trying to make this cost efficient, trying to make sure that I'm surrounding myself with like-minded people, and making sure that those are actually real people that I'm doing that with. Everything else I think is going to be just fine.
Now, working together, because this is another aspect. I haven't interviewed people who are in a podcast as hosts together at the same time, because I think I'm about to have somebody, Matilda, for the Africalypso show. Did I say that right?
Africalypso podcast.
So we'll have her on the show too sometime, and she's gonna be solo because some her friends are remote. But having you two together, can you discuss and give me some elements of the show that have really made you say, wow, it is nice to have a co-host rather than now be solo?
Yeah.
I can go ahead with that.
Go ahead, I'll piggy.
The most important thing is that she shows up as herself. Like, this is her off the mic. Maybe it's a little bit more vulnerable but this is her. with her wealth of experience and stuff like that. So she just comes in and again, she's telling us what she's going through. She's telling us what's on her mind. That's all that she's doing. There's nothing like rehearsed about this. Sometimes we'll come in, we don't even have topics. I'm the person who everybody's like, you don't say enough about yourself. I don't feel the need to say about that much about myself because the people closest to me know everything about me, or most things about me. I'm here to learn. So I want you to talk about yourself. I'll ask the right questions and it brings the right answers out that attracts the audience. So it's like, that's the chemistry right there. Off the mic, off camera too, we have that kind of dynamic as well. Like, I understand where she's coming from. Like, we're just like, we're close like that. We're like best friends that don't talk for like 2 weeks. But like every time we talk, it's like, we know it's like, it's good. We don't see each other all the time, but like it's that, the love is there. Even when I fuck, she'll tell me like, you know what, this ain't it, you gotta do better. When she's off her meds, I'm gonna be like, I'm like, hey, listen, I know you got all this going on in your head, like, but like, it's gonna be all right. So again, the chemistry off the podcast definitely like translates to that, and like I said, like the fact that she has all these life experiences. She's adventurous. She's very adventurous. She's the person that'll like be like, okay, you know what, this life shit is getting a little too. I'm
bored.
I'm going to Paris, and she was like,
I am for my birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that. I actually did not know that. But she'll do it. She'll book the flight and she'll go. She'll be like, you know, if I have to do this on a credit card, I'll do it. But it's about me and my mental health. I'll deal with whatever that comes with it.
Yeah.
Later.
So what I'm getting is you guys piggyback from each other.
We piggyback off each other. It's like it's very easy. We're just
like I don't know how like, because that's the one thing that I'm really, as I'm about to go into this journey, though I can talk a lot, and I mean I talk a lot, I think it'll be very awkward for me to sit down in front of a microphone and only have myself talking for every episode. Like I used to listen to podcasts before podcasts were like really popular, and at the time there weren't a lot of people who had co-hosts, or there weren't a lot of people who were doing interviews. They were just talking, and I thought that was so dope. But for me, I don't think I would be able to do that for every single episode. So what the dynamic has done for me has been like, oh no, I absolutely, and I didn't know that about myself, but it's like, I want to ask questions. I want to know what the other person's story is. Like, yes, I have a lot of stories and you'll hear them sometimes, and that's what we were just talking about. Like, I'm really interested in the stories that I don't hear are the stories that I'm looking for. And that's what I want my podcast to be. Yeah, and that's what it is, because it's like I'm starting all my businesses, right? But they're all kind of wrapping into one umbrella, and the podcast is a significant portion of that. But like you said, you know, when I'm struggling, it's not that I don't know that I'm not great or that I'm not capable. It's just all I hear are success stories, and that's, for me, it's very depressing when I'm not yet at my success. So can somebody,
especially as Nigerian,
especially as not, because you're already not supposed to be doing this.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be pursuing creative endeavors. You're not supposed to be like what are you doing with your time? Like, this isn't, you know, that's not what you're supposed to be doing. And it takes until you're successful for your Nigerian parents to even recognize that you've done anything. It's nothing until you're able to live off of it. It's nothing until you're able to, you know, generate like anything. It's nothing until then. So how do you as an entrepreneur, how do you as a creator, how do you as anything navigate that part of the journey before you get to the success? How do you not stop along the way before you become what African parents would consider successful? And those are the stories that I don't ever hear as I'm struggling in my own way to maintain some sort of consistency and some sort of vigor in my dreams. It's nice to hear other people say like, nah, like I definitely almost got kicked up out of my house because I needed to get this Canon camera, and that Canon camera meant more to me at that time than that roof that was over my head, and I needed to get that. Like, I need to hear that. Like, that's what I need to hear, and I'm not hearing it, and that's why I was like, nah, that's what my podcast is going to be about. I want to hear people's struggle stories. Like,
okay.
Yeah. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
That was a
It
plug.
does a lot.
Sorry. That's what it's going to be about.
Maybe call it struggle stories.
Why do I call it struggle stories?
Maybe you should.
Maybe.
Oh, the struggle stories?
Yeah.
I like
Write
it.
it down. I don't
Boom,
know.
we're going to...
Yeah, see?
I
There you
thought that
go.
was. I thought
CeCe's
about that.
podcast is called The Struggle Stories.
Right.
Because that's one thing I definitely, and when you say I don't really talk about myself, but that's one thing that I like experienced earlier on. Because we're as young Nigerians, all we hear is the success stories. The people who have the matter of fact 6.0 GPA, and like they have Harvard and everybody else, and so you're struggling as a young Nigerian. You're like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
That I'm not doing the same thing that my peers are doing. Like you said, nobody really talks about those of us as young Nigerians that are struggling. Those of us who failed a few courses, had to like start afresh. Those of us who came to a new system and didn't get like the ball running like right away.
And they don't teach you how to navigate that. They don't teach you how to navigate.
You're expected to just like know.
To just know. Yeah. And so that the podcast having a co-host on there, that's what that has done for me. Where it's like, oh, okay, I need to do this with other people.
You just took it right off my mouth, because I was going to ask you, just by being co-hosts together, that's what has helped you develop yourself into now becoming a solo podcaster.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I consider myself
And then Big Toxic too, right?
Huh?
And then Big Toxic too.
Yeah. Like, I'm a talker. Like, people always tell me all these things about myself, but I couldn't figure out how to do something with it that felt fulfilling. Right, so I'm really good at landing jobs. I'm smart because I'm Igbo, and that's just what we are. We're just smart people. Like, I have 3 degrees, but I felt very empty. Like, I miss doing the things that don't necessarily bring you immediate financial gratification. Right, I miss dancing. I miss drawing. I miss writing poetry. I miss creating things, but no one actually tells you that it's okay to go do those things. And they definitely don't tell you that it's okay to pursue those things full time. So yeah, doing the podcast was like, okay, so I don't have to already have it all together and then do this. It's like a retirement thing. I don't have to like go get all the money, have like my 3 to 6 month savings, and my life doesn't have to be perfect, and then I'll start all these things when I'm retired. Right, when I've done the right course of American work or Nigerian work. Like, I can do it and I'm broke as shit. I can do it and I don't have any time, but I have an hour a day. So a day that I will run and do my podcast stuff religiously every week. And I'll allocate the time for that. And then that's my job. That's it. The same way I treat my job with respect, I will treat that with respect. And that's what it is. And so yeah, like, it's seeing my cousin do it and knowing where my cousin is, where my cousin's at in his life, and seeing that it's like, oh, like, you're choosing another route and that's okay, really was like, oh, okay, I could do it then. I need to see people do it. When people talk about representation matters, I'm one of those people where, like, representation really matters. I need to see other people doing the thing so that I know if you're a person and you're a living, tangible, I can touch you, I can breathe, I can see you, I can then do it too. That's extremely important.
So from here, we're looking at a podcast that's because I always say there's a dynamic when you're bringing the African American issue, because I also have this thing where I'm in America and I'm trying to get the American feel from my diaspora, and then I also have to have another feel for the African culture. And one best thing that I always say, and I've come to interact with you, is the fact that you're African American, and when I look back, I'm looking at my kids being like you one day, and what are they going to see? What are they going to be looking at? What are their issues?
Yeah.
And this is a podcast that I really want to follow in your journey, because
Thank you.
They'll represent, you'll be representing what they will be in the next, hopefully in the next 10 years. 10 years. So shout outs to you with the podcast.
It's a struggle. It's an interesting struggle.
It'll always be. Always be. But this is very, very
thing.
interesting. Actually, coming from a co-host. Now, to wind down, not to take too much of your time, I always ask questions for the Sambaza podcast, since I'm putting you on the hot seat. So there are 2 questions. No, you're not going to answer any questions, because I already asked you the questions when we talked about our podcast. Now, you ready?
I'm ready.
Born
ready. Stay ready, so you ain't got to be ready.
Which would you choose? To forget everything you read, or to forget anything you hear?
Dang. To forget anything I hear. I would choose to forget anything I hear.
Anything you hear?
Yes. Because, do I have to give a reason why? Okay, I would forget everything I hear. It's trash.
All right.
Trash anyway.
Another option. Question. What would you choose? Which would you choose? To never be able to smell again, or to smell permanently of fish?
Wait, like she would smell like fish?
Smell of fish. You either smell of fish, or you're never able to smell again.
Hold on, let me make sure I get in this question right.
I would smell like
would she
fish.
smell
Like
fish, or would she smell
fish.
like? She would smell like fish.
Yes.
She would stink like fish.
Right.
Oh.
Or you never be able to smell again.
Jesus Christ. These options.
to never be able to smell again.
Okay.
Yeah, ain't
Yeah.
nobody gonna
I don't want to
rock
smell
with
like
you,
fish.
smell like
Yeah.
fish.
Next is for everything to. Which one would you choose? For everything to happen twice as quickly, or for everything to happen at half the speed?
For everything to happen at half the speed.
All right. Last question. What would you choose? To have the face of a film star, but be obese, or to have a body to die for, but be pig ugly?
Hell no. Let me go ahead and get the roles. I'd rather have a face of a film star and be obese, because big girls out here killing it anyway. Like, you can't be ugly. I'm sorry. You just can't be ugly. Like, you can't fix ugly.
But have you seen niggas baby mamas though? Like,
Have you seen? I ask myself on a regular basis, like, why am I even trying to like work out and have a body? Like, bitches out here eating tacos and they like. Have you ever seen an episode of My 600-Pound Life and any of them hoes are single?
most of them got niggas.
They
if not
married.
all.
They're married all the time. But ugly people, the world is really not like ugly people.
All right.
So I'd rather have a face of a movie star and be BBW.
It was a pleasure having
Thank you.
you all, CeCe and Wuchi, onto my Sambaza Live YouTube channel, as I call it. And hope you go on with this journey and everything is good. And yep.
Thank you.
Next time
like your shirt. Do we get a shirt?
we do one of these.
Handles. Do you have any handles?
I do.
go ahead,
I
yeah.
do. Look at me. Oh, snap. I'm doing it little by little. Okay. So you can follow me at Secretly Hedonist
Spell it out
21.
for the people that
Oh,
can't-
okay.
They don't know how to spell.
Let me make sure my ass know how to spell before I
Before
misspell
they
it.
follow somebody else that's not you.
You're not gonna not follow me. Okay. So Secretly Hedonist 21, SecretlyHedonist 21. That is my personal Instagram page, and then Secretly Hedonist Drop the 21 is my e-commerce store business page. But I'll probably be posting my podcast stuff on both pages, so you can
have a
follow
website
either
too?
one. The website for the store is secretlyhedonist.com.
All right. Pleasure having you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we out.
And we out. Deuces.
All right.